Hey everyone, this is the GNSteve bonus Ask GN for public release. We of course have the special Patreon Ask GN episodes, also special behind the scenes episodes on this channel, both publicly and unlisted. If you'd like to get access to the special unlisted episodes, which gives you more of an insight to what we do, how we operate, and you see some of the other people on the team, go to patreon.com/gamersnexus. We've really been pushing lately on that front so that we can continue to fund really awesome trips like the big factory tour we're doing coming up. So, all right. This one's just answering some of the bike questions because there were a lot of these. So we had one from, it was in reference to the backdrop in the first scene from the previous Ask GNs, not the most recent public one, but first one is from zeroack, zeroack. It says, after seeing your backdrop in the first scene, what's your favorite mountain bike? What are you riding now? My favorite mountain bike easily is my Canfield Jedi. Not even close. Nothing else is close to it. So the Canfield Jedi is a full downhill bike. I think we did no, I don't think we have done a bike check of it. But it's a black frame. I actually didn't want that frame combination. It was black and red. And what I did, so the linkages for the rear shock were all red, and I wanted blue. I wanted black and blue for it. So what I did is I took the linkages off, I brought it to an anodization shop, and I asked them, hey, I'm not a business customer, but can you do this for me? And they were super cool. They, the guy there was like, oh yeah, I'm an old motocross guy, and you know, we don't really do this for one-off customers who aren't business, but I just enjoy the challenge. And so he wanted a challenge, which I really respect in an engineering firm. And he took it, they anodized it for me, and it turned it blue. So they took the red off, they put the blue on. It was like $280, so it was, you know, it's not cheap, but for going to a business-to-business place and saying, hey, I have this piece of metal, can you spend an hour on it? That's pretty good. So I like it because I customize it like that, but also it rides the best out of any bike I've ever ridden. If I could get away with riding it on local trails, I would, but it's too heavy for that. So I take it to some local jump trails with big ramps that are mostly built out of wood, and then I take it to Bryce Bike Park in Virginia, Snowshoe. I've taken it to Beach Mountain in North Carolina. I'd like to take it to Asheville area like Brevard, and I'd love to take it to out west to California. Whistler, I always rent a bike, even though I'd prefer to bring mine, but it's just too expensive. So yeah, that's my favorite bike. It's got a Fox 40. It's a Canfield Jedi frame. It's 27.5. I don't like 29ers, sorry. And custom wheel build, all blue and black. And then what else do I have on there? Blue Vibracore bars that are full, I think they're 800 width. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else super cool, but it really is, it's all in the shocks. The rear shock is a Fox DHX, whatever it's called. I had to replace the one that came on it. It sucked. But yeah, really fun bike. It took me years to save up for it. So that's my favorite. What I'm riding now is that plus an Intense Recluse factory build. Also saved up for a long time for that. That was an unexpected purchase. Wasn't really happy to buy it. And I replaced my Canfield Balance, which up until it died was my favorite bike, period. But the Balance developed a crack in it, and we've got a video on this channel about it. And the service was garbage. So Canfield's kind of back, though, and I think that's one of the questions in here. The Recluse, the Intense Recluse, what I regret most about it is I could tell I wouldn't like the seat post, the seat tube height. Seat tube height's too tall, and it's carbon, so I can't do anything about it. So it took me a long time to learn how to get out of the way of the seat when I'm doing any kind of jumping. And if it starts getting to a larger size that I could have done on the Balance, which is a single crown fork, rather than the Jedi, which is dual crown, you know, there's jumps I could do on the Balance that I won't do on the Recluse because it comes up and it hits me because it's too high up. So that's the thing, I wouldn't buy it again. I like it a lot for local trails. It's the fastest bike I've ridden on them. It's light. I've never bought a light bike before. It's good, but I think I would trade it for another Balance. And I know they've just come back, so I don't know. I ride bikes till they die, so as soon as it explodes from a carbon fiber failure, I'll replace it. Next one is from YouTube also. EK says, thoughts on Canfield Brothers splitting into CBF and Canfield bikes and finally announcing bikes again. Have you tried reaching out to the company recently? It's amusing to have seen comments on bike news sites demanding that Canfield respond to your questions and concerns. If not on the askgn, on the GNSteve channel, please. Yeah, so I was so bitter about how I got treated as a customer that when they first announced they were coming back, I was just like, whatever, I'll believe it when I see it. But I eventually calmed down a bit on that, and I contacted them via just Facebook, posted a comment about how you fix the problem where it takes 18 months to get a set of replacement bolts. And I don't know if I ever saw a reply to that one. I think it just kind of disappeared. I don't think I saw anything. I posted again later when they announced something, and I said, hey, I love my Jedi. It's great. So I was a lot less adversarial on that one. I love my Jedi, but have you fixed the issue where the tube cracks, the top tube cracks? And they basically replied and said, yes, we fixed that issue, which I mean, I can't validate that, so whatever. From what I've seen I have no idea if they have, but they said we fixed the issue. And they also claimed that the issue with the parts was caused by staff who no longer work here. And from everything I can see, the staff directly interfacing with me who said that the replacement hardware, like the bolts, was not available for 18 months. From what I can see, that person still works there. So either the website's not updated or I'm being lied to, but or they're talking about somewhere lower down the chain. Either way, though, whatever. I mean, that's a common excuse for a business owner. Oh yeah, I fired name generator. Amy. Yeah, she doesn't work here anymore. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I could do it again. I'd probably buy another Jedi if mine died. I will not buy a 29er though. I'd love to buy a 26 balance, but they don't do it. So I'm stuck with my 26 rims and all my 26 parts on my broken balance right now. Yeah. Anyway, I love the hell out of the Jedi. I liked Lance. I got to ride with him once at beach. It was a great experience, and I improved a lot as a rider. So I can appreciate the company, but after that support experience, I'm very hesitant to try again, and it pushes me more towards intense, to be honest. If they make a geometry I like, they've been pretty good. Dylan Lanphear, I know you ride MTB. Are those your race numbers? Talking about the numbers that were behind me on the other askgn set. Yes, they were my race numbers. I answered the what are you riding now part. Yeah, I've never really been a good racer. I did downhill race for my first time a year or two ago at Bryce. That was fun. I didn't place well, but it was fun. There was too much pedaling in the middle. But I enjoy it just for racing against myself, basically. So I'll compare my 2 lap times. That's kind of what I like doing. It's not really to race against other people at this point. I'm just not fast enough. Next one, the Naked Cable Guy says, what's the black and silver frame? Is it for sale? I hope at some point the editors should have popped up the frame, or not the frame, but the backdrop from the other one. So that one I think was I think you're talking about the Gary Fisher Sugar B2 Plus, which was basically when I was probably, I don't know, I might have been like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. But basically when I didn't have a whole lot of money and I was just getting into mountain biking, it's a pretty long time ago at this point, but I went over to the guys, this one dude's house who was selling a bunch of good stuff on Craigslist. Like he had shock pumps, he had a bunch of CO2 canister equipment, he had camelbacks that were relatively unused, and I could just replace the bladder out of them if I really wanted to. And he also had wheels, tires, frames. And so I went over to buy $10 of stuff. I bought a crappy Garmin GPS for $5, and I bought a shock pump for $5 that I still use. And he, I think seeing that, the car I was driving and all that, seeing what I was riding, all that stuff, I think he was like, I could help this guy out. He had a huge house too, by the way, and a room dedicated to just bikes. And he went into the crawl space and pulled out 2 frames. He pulled out one that was a hardtail, and he pulled out one that was the Gary Fisher Sugar 2B, whatever it's called. So I took that home. I stripped all the paint off of it. It took me days, and with really toxic paint stripper. And then I polished the frame, like I sanded it. I polished it with aluminum polish, got it to a bare aluminum look. That's why you can't find it, the one that was on the wall behind me, because I customized it, stripped all the paint off of it. It took forever. So really, it was a fun frame for a long time. It's way below my standards these days, but it was the best thing I'd ridden. It was the first custom bike build I had ever done. So that lived about a year. A crack developed in the seat collar area, and I stopped riding it. I honestly think I could have kept riding it, no problems, but it was the first time I had a bike frame crack, and I was a little concerned about it. I replaced it with the Santa Cruz nickel. That's the other one on the wall. That's that green one, which also died, by the way. ZeroACK says that after seeing, oh, I took that one. Alex Sohn says, are there any, I guess I could do this one. I didn't mean to put this here, but are there any products you've tested that you've recycled? Bonus question, what does GN do to recycle generally? Linus got me thinking. Yeah, I spoke with Linus after he did that video because I wanted to tell him, like, hey, there's more you can do than it seems like you think. And we talked about it. So we have a whole video on this channel about it now. I won't really go into detail, but yes, we've recycled components, stuff that we've torn down and won't go back together because it's destroyed. We'll recycle that. A lot of the time it's just aluminum, so it can be melted down, basically completely reused. All the packing materials we get in from shipping, I set them aside in separate bins, and then we have a friend who does an unrelated distribution business from ours. He sells stuff on eBay for people. So he uses a lot of packing materials. And rather than him go out and create demand and buy it from a packing store or whatever, we just give him ours, and he's obviously really happy to use it. He doesn't have to spend money on stuff. And then I'm happy to at least give it one more use. Because if I were just a consumer, at some point you cut your losses, you throw stuff away. But we do enough business in just receiving boxes that I want to try and use it again. So I give it to someone, at least economically he benefits. Cases we don't need anymore, we'll either give those to the school, or I'm going to start looking at working with Cramden Institute soon and give it to them. Same for most of the other stuff. But yeah, we have another video on that, so check that one out. Thanks for watching. That's it for this bonus one for the public launch. Yeah, we'll be in Taiwan soon, so leave your questions below. I guess maybe we can keep doing side channel ones of these. If they're not like non-computer hardware questions, leave them below, unless it's something like the recycling one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for this channel for more content, and I'll see you all next time.